So the building right in front of me used to be, I believe, an old police station, but it's now the Ministry of Communications and Information building. You can see it's very colorful with many windows. It's like a rainbow. I'm going to be doing some photography here. Hopefully get some shots of all this traffic that's going by. I came here at night time where there would be considerably less traffic. If there's too many cars in front, it's really hard to do panning shots right here. So it's almost 9:30, it's going to be 10 o'clock, lesser traffic. Alright, so I've set up my monopod right here. This is the Cobra iFootage 3. It's really nice, really tall, sturdy tripod. I have with me here my Nikon Z8, of course, and the weapon of choice for tonight will be the 24-120 f4Z lens. So I'm going to be putting it up here in landscape orientation. Alright, so my first tip of the night is that you can see here I'm using the small rig L bracket for the Nikon Z8. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pull out the extension right here. You can see there's a little extension on the left side of the camera. This is for your access to the HDMI, the USB-C sockets. I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to leave it extended just like this. Alright, so I've extended the L bracket, the small rig L bracket, all the way as far as it would go. And I think this is very important because what this does later is that this gives me an extra hander. So I'm going to hold the camera like this with one hand on the grip, the other hand on the the small rig L bracket. Like this. I'm going to be panning like this while the camera is on the monopod. So if this is the first time you're seeing this, this is the Xsun CMO. It's what I'm going to be using to record the camera's view of the shooting itself, so that you guys can see what's actually going on in the camera. So I have the panning knob loosened, so the camera can pan easily like this. And like I was saying just now, I'm going to use the camera grip and the L bracket itself as a handle to turn the camera smoothly. Now, one thing I need to be very careful of is that when I pan the camera, it's just going to turn from left to right. And I don't want any other movement in any other direction, either forwards or backwards or tilt. Too much of that, you're going to see lines that are squiggly and it's not going to look very nice in the photo. So I'm going to try to keep it as stable as possible, left to right movements only. Alright, so before we begin, I'm going to do a quick rundown on camera settings. So let's start off with aperture first. The main thing you want with aperture is depth of field. Depth of field is how much you have in focus. So we are not going to be looking at something with a very shallow depth of field here. It makes absolutely no difference in the shot. You don't need to shoot at f1.2, you don't need to shoot at f1.8. I'm going to go like maybe f9. Between f9 to maybe f13, I want a deep depth of field to get everything in focus. And the next thing that's really important itself is shutter speed. So when I first started out testing this shot, I started out at I started out at 1/20 of a second. So 1/20 of a second, it's fine. You know, the main thing is that we want to match the movement of the camera at the same speed as the car or the vehicle is moving by. But as the night progresses, I find myself lowering the shutter speed to as low as 1/6 of a second, because when it's that slow, you have a lot of blur of the camera movement itself, moving from left and right. And what that happens is that in the photo itself, you get a sense of motion that you don't get at faster shutter speeds. But if you're just starting out, I recommend that you shoot at a faster shutter speed. It's easier to get a sharp image that way. Once you're more comfortable with it, you can start shooting at a slower shutter speed, go down to 1/6 of a second, or even slower if you want to get an even more blurry effect. But I would say anywhere between 1/6 to 1/30, that's a very good starting point. So your ISO is going to be whatever fits the aperture and the shutter speed that you want to set. Alright, so a few more settings. This is more important if you are using a Nikon Z camera, especially with the Z9 or the Z8 that I have right here. Some of these settings you do not have on the 6, 7 or the Z5 or the Z50 or the Z30. I'll just cover the best settings. Any of these cameras, you're going to want to turn on your vibration reduction, as I've done over here. So this is just to ensure that as you're panning, you don't get any other movement, you just get right to left, a very smooth left to right movement. And the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to go into the manual settings. go under shooting, display mode, and we're gonna go to the, where is it? We're gonna go to the release timing indicator right here. And I wanna make sure that it's not in type A. So type B or C is fine, make sure that it's not in type A. The reason why is because I want to be shooting this blackout free. So I don't want my viewfinder to go black when I'm doing the shot. You know, when I'm trying to follow the vehicle moving from left to right, I don't want the screen to go black. So the important thing to take note also is that when you are shooting in this mode, if you want blackout free shooting, you gotta make sure that your anti-flicker mode is off, because if your anti-flicker mode is on over there, it's going to make it such that your camera isn't going to be shooting blackout free. So then again, this is only applicable if you're shooting with a Z8 or Z9. If you're shooting with any other Nikon Z camera other than the 8 or 9, you don't have to worry about any of this because you do not have blackout free shooting anyway. Just turn on vibration reduction, the settings that we mentioned before this, and you're good to go. So if you're not familiar with the concept of panning, what we're trying to do is to point the lens at a car or a vehicle that's going through the frame. And as it's going through the frame, we're rotating the camera, or we're panning the camera the same speed as how fast the vehicle is going. And if we are able to maintain as close as possible to the speed at which the vehicle is going across the frame, what happens is that we have a very sharp vehicle, and then the background is all going to be blurred out. And with this colourful building in front of me, what I'm hoping to get is this very nice, like a rainbow blur behind, and a very nice, sense of motion and movement from the vehicle that's moving. Now, important thing is that you have to be really, really sharp with this. It might look sharp on the back of the camera screen. Don't trust it. Zoom in, review your photo, make sure that it's really, really good. Now, the first time I came out here and did a shoot like this, I shot over 1,000 images and I barely got a few images that I'm happy with, that's really sharp enough for my standards. So you gotta be really patient, but I find that it's really rewarding. It's very fun and exciting. And you get that rush when you successfully get this beautiful panning shot that you're very happy with. Focus modes, my favorite, I'm going to be going with, as usual, AFC 3D tracking. So that's something that you only have with the Nikon Z8 and the Nikon Z9. If not, your regular AFC on your Nikon Z6 or Z7, that works fine as well. So I find that one of the best timings to shoot is when the traffic light is red, and then when the cars start to come by, is where you get very nice shots. So that was nice, but we can do better. Alright, so actual panning technique itself. Now, I find that it's not so good if you just randomly aim at the vehicle and then just try to follow it. I find that it's actually much better if you do not shoot first. Don't press the shutter first. Follow the vehicle for a short distance, and then when you feel that you have the sense of the speed that the vehicle is going, then you start to hit the shutter. Keep your finger on the shutter. Make sure that you're on high burst mode, keep your finger on the shutter, and then keep following the movement. As you stop shooting, continue turning your camera, don't stop, because that's just going to add some unwanted movement into the frame. So we're gonna try it again right here. The light now is red, it's going to turn green in a moment. So once again, I'm going to follow the motion of the vehicle. I'm not going to hit the shutter first, I'm just going to follow it. Make sure my focus is on, I'm going to follow it, and once I feel like I got a hang of the speed of the vehicle itself, I'm going to hit the shutter, and hopefully it was something good. Yeah, it is pretty decent, a little unexposed. I changed my exposure back down. Let's go to 1/6 of a second. Let's try that again. We got a motorcycle coming through, I'm going to just follow it. Whoa, that's fast. So yeah, that fella was going pretty fast, but oh, it would have been awesome if we got it. So I'm out here on the streets. It's 10 o'clock at night. There's lots of people walking around me, and I am a crazy guy talking alone to the camera. When the cars are stopped like this, you can't do anything much. Like, you gotta wait for the traffic to get out of there, you know, get out from this side. So we got a motorcycle. It's going quite slowly. All right, we've got another one. I'm gonna follow it. So yeah, this shot right here, it's pretty interesting, pretty cool. Of course, I didn't intend for the green blur right beside it, but it looks so interesting. I do wish it was a little bit sharper, and like I said, you gotta accurately follow the speed of the vehicle that's moving. If the speed is slightly off, the image might not be usable. And why it doesn't look that bad on the back of the camera screen right here, I mean, it looks usable here, but I'm not sure if you go back and you look at it on the big computer screen whether you're still gonna like this image or not. A little something to keep in mind for blackout free shooting. If your shutter speed is too slow, like I was going at 1/6 of a second earlier, you do get a blackout again. So I've changed it to 1/15. Let's increase the aperture a little bit just to offset for the exposure, and let's try to get a few shots blackout free. I was going a bit too slow. Or rather, I was going a bit too fast. But again, after you take the image, check for sharpness. And hope for another motorcycle or bicycle that comes by. You see right there? That looks sharp on the back of the screen, but you zoom in, it's not sharp, it's not good enough. So I'm gonna keep trying. Try to get these two buses coming by. It's a bicycle coming. I want to get this bicycle, come on. Come on, he's a bit slow. Ooh. Yeah, I probably should have zoomed in a little bit more. Oh, that's the money shot right there. I'm happy with that. I mean, this is at 100%, just pixel peeping, and it looks so sharp. Like this is really what I came here for. Let's get more. It's so hard to get a bicycle because it's so slow. I mean, that's so sharp, but it's so difficult to get the sense of motion from the photo because it's just going so slowly. If you are panning at a faster speed, I mean, you're panning from left to right or right to left faster, you get more of a sense of motion. And unfortunately, in this shot, I mean, it's sharp. It might work, but I wish there was a bit more motion. So a faster bicycle would be good. Like that bus was just slowing down towards the end there, and that kind of messed up my speed. So you gotta be conscious of these things. There is a like a turn you around the other way. There is like a traffic light over there. So when the light turns red, the traffic tends to slow down, and when they slow down, that affects the speed, which I'm trying to follow them. It kind of messes me up. So I gotta be conscious of that. lights like this, it starts to feel really addictive. You're just hungering for the next shot, the next sharp image, because it looks fantastic when you get it right. Alright, so it just turned 11 p.m. and the lights of the building has gone off, so I guess we're gonna call it a day right here. Once again, guys, let me know if you have any questions, any comments, any tips or feedback, and I'll see you guys in the next video.